it's Annie from Vintage Lace Journal, and I'm here today to make a masterboard. Now, a couple of videos I've been doing recently have been for beginners, and this is a really good place to start for beginners to make your own backgrounds for cards and tags and journaling cards and things. So what I've got here is a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. It's quite garish, flowers on one side and it's kind of seaside theme on the other side. It's not kind of something that I probably use in my projects. I don't really scrapbook anymore, so I'm going to use this as a base for my board. Now here I have got all these little labels I cut out. This is from the Junk Journal Studio, and I sat and cut all these lovely labels out. So I'm going to use these as a base for my masterboard because they're all the same kind of colours. They've got that nice kind of muted effect on them. So when you make a masterboard, all I'm going to be using is obviously these as my base. With my 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, I use just a regular glue stick. This is from a local shop. It actually doesn't not open anymore, but it's just one of those regular glue sticks like this. And to glue these down, I use what I call a glue book. So all I do is it's just an old book that obviously got from a charity shop, and I just use this to put my ticket down. And as I say, they're going to glue that back of there. And then we just start sticking them onto the masterboard. Now, because these are mostly square, rectangle shapes, I can obviously put these on, just move that up, right onto the edge. Then requires no cutting around the edges. Sometimes if you're using ripped pieces of paper, you get like a ripped edge, but you can just go around and cut that off afterwards. And then all you do is, I'm obviously going to keep using my glue book here, is just taking a label, popping glue on the back, and then all you do is just keep going and going and going. So filling this piece of scrapbook paper up with all these different labels. Now what you then do with this when you've finished it is entirely up to you. Because I'm using scrapbook paper, I can use this as a base for, like I just said, cards, journaling cards, tags. This would be quite nice to do into a trifold tag if you wanted to do that. Because of the weight of the card, you could also use it as a junk journal cover. So you could then obviously cut it in half and have two 6x6 covers for a journal. The lists possibilities are endless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going over like this, just sticking these labels down, like with the glue stick, like I just said, and I'm going to cover the whole of this piece of paper. Now, obviously, I don't think you need to just watch me gluing all of this, because it'll be quite boring for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to come back when this is finished and show you the end result and what I'm going to do next. So here we have the final product of my masterboard. So 12 by 12, and it's just got all of these lovely tags, tickets, things. Some of them have gone up the normal way, some of them are sideways. It doesn't really matter. I'm now going to chop into this anyway. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. When you're cutting something that you've made stickers like this, I always turn it over. Sometimes your blade could catch on a piece of paper that's sticking up. Shouldn't do, but I always just like to do it that way. Now, because most of my things are in the normal kind of, I can't get my words out today, way up, as in rotational wise, I'm going to cut it this way. So I'm going to cut across here at 6 inches. There we go. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to create some journaling cards with one. So I'm going to make quite big journaling cards. I'm going to make these 6 inches by 3 inches, I think. I should do 6 by 4. I might do 6 by 4, then I'll get 4, 8, 12. I should get 3 out of there. Ooh, not cut it that way. There we go. So I've got 3 journaling cards there, and I'm just going to round the corners because I like my journaling cards to have round corners. And then once you've done this, you can ink around the edges, but I'm going to do something a little bit slightly different with mine today, just to see how they work. And then with the other one, so this is now 6 inches, so I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches. And I'm going to make tags out of this one, so I'm going to make them 4 by 2. So just keep going along at 2 inches. And these make a nice size, oh well, I like the way that's come out, little tags. So, and as long as you do things in even numbers with a piece of 12 by 12 paper, you should be able to get everything coming out in the same kind of sizes. So this will have, there we go, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So some of these have come out obviously with the whole of that picture on there. Some of it's cut some of it off. But like I said, when you start putting things on top of these, you don't really see the background anyway. Okay, so I've got 6 of those. And then this one strip that's left over, I think I'm just going to cut that in half to make 2 tall tags. Like I said, because most of my stuff is directional, you get to see this one way or the other. Okay, just pop my trim out of the way. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something a little bit different with these. I'm going to bring in my acrylic block, and I've got some different colour distress inks here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some of this colour down on here. This one's peacock feather, it's quite a vibrant colour, this one. And then just spray some water onto there. Then I'm going to bring in my tag, and I'm just going to plonk it on like that, so you get colour. Do another one. Okay, so it's kind of like staining the back of those. And one last one. Last of that colour up. And then just wipe that. So it gives this kind of like splattered effect. Let's get that into focus. Okay, and I'm going to do this one, Shabby Shutters. And again, just pop your ink down onto your acrylic block, a couple of sprays of water, and then with the same colour but in different kind of areas, I'm just going to bring that down. Okay. I'm going to come in with this one called Dusty Concord. Now this one's quite dark, so I don't know if that will work very well on this one, but I'll have a go. Yeah, down the bottom bit is okay, but if you can't see much of that on the top. Just to keep dabbing that in and checking where the colour's gone. And then I'm just going to come in with tea dye. And then with the purple, it's going to go in with that colour. Gives that kind of like aged effect. And again, on that one doesn't really show as much. I quite like the effect of those. You can always come back if you see any little bits you've missed. So there we go. That's those 3 tags. And I've got one of these, just like an old store card. Obviously it's got a little bit cornered off there. So you cut them. Might make that, no, that size. It saves you having to find the bit that pings off when you cut it. Just turn it over and do the other side. And then do the same on all of these tags. Just making sure you always line up the straight edges, so line up on the top and then line it up on the side. So the next thing I'm going to do is obviously pop a hole in the top of there, and I'll thread just one of these eyelets through. I'll pop the link to these below from Amazon. Now we've got so many now, I think I can keep using them and I just never seem to get to the end. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is think about what kind of thing we're going to put onto the front of these now. So you can obviously stamp onto here, but I think with the images that are on here already, you probably wouldn't notice the stamping as much. Another thing you can do is obviously come in with your ink, and then just ink around those edges. Again, depending on the colour that you've used. So obviously on this one, I don't think you'll see it as much because you see it a little bit because of the darkness of the tag. Right, so here, this bit has lifted, and actually I'm going to pull that off because it doesn't really matter because it's part of that tag anyway. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about doing all of that now. The next thing I'm going to do is think about what kind of things I'm going to stick onto here. And I have got these from Amazon, and they are all these mushroom stickers. I just thought they were great. I'm just going to make sure they do show up first before I start sticking them down. They are translucent kind of stickers, so the darker ones might be better. So something like that one on there. Or we have got some of these beautiful images. These are also from the Junk Journal Studio. These labels are from the Junk Journal Studio, so I'll link them below. They are from labels from Days Gone By, Volume 2. So that's those. But I think these might look quite nice as well. I've done a lot of things with flowers recently. It'd be nice to do something a little bit different. But I do love flowers. There's lots and lots of beautiful images on here. Oh, this is a nice one. Let's have a little look and see what this will look like, especially on that purple. And the good thing about the Junk Journal Studio as well, which I love about their fussy cut things, is they always do it in different sizes. You can see here, you've got a great big one, medium, and going down in sizes. So depending on what project you've got, there's always something to go on there. This size might be better. This wasn't planned. I didn't really decide what I was going to put on top of the image, to be honest with you. When I fussy cut, I always do leave a little border around. Just makes it easier. So fussy cut, some people like to go right up to the image. It's personal choice, I think. And I've printed these flowers out onto just ordinary copy paper because they're just going to get glued down. They don't need to be on card. They don't need any strength in them at all. Just wiggle your paper when you've got little wiggly bits. Helps you get that effect. Okay. And as you can see, leaving that little white border around makes it super easy. And it also makes it stand out from the background that you're actually placing on as well. So all the way around. There. So I'm going to come in with this one. So it's got that purple background. And as you can see on there, that looks great. Love that. So I'm just going to come in with some tacky glue. Again, these little bottles I got from Amazon as well. But you can buy them. I think most places sell these now, craft shops and things. Can't actually. Bring in my glue book. It's always the same when you go on camera to do something. Bottles seize up, paper rips. Doesn't do it normally. Again, so pop that there. Now the reason why a bit of this has just actually come off here is because this hasn't had time to dry. I've literally stuck my backing down. As you can see, this bit's just come off because I've just wet the paper and the glue hadn't dried. So obviously give yourself time to make sure your paper's dry, but easy fix. There we go. And again, because this is still damp, it's not sticking very well. I'm just going to come in with my hole punch. Pop my hole through. I'm going to go for silver today. And then pop a little eyelet. Now I think just popping these in, and they're so cheap to pick up, quite a lot of them. They just finish a project off. Let's make it look a lot nicer in my personal opinion. There we go. And I've got some labels as well. They're also from the Junk Journal Studio. They do the same labels. These are Days Gone By. And these are all in purples. So I think there's a nice little something at the top there. And again, these come in all different sizes. So I'm going to choose quite a small one, just to put a little something on the side there. And I'm going to go for this little one here. It's a nice shade of purple. And a good thing about digitals is once you've bought them and downloaded them, obviously they're yours to print off as many times as you like. Okay. So I'm just going to run that on my glue. Pop that in there. And then my good old favourite garden twine. Love this stuff. Cheap and cheerful. Pop a bit of that in there. There we go. So I think what I'm actually going to do is come in with my purple ink and just find my purple head. Give this a little bit of purple around the edge. And there we go. So that background, those labels, you can still see it obviously through here. There's a pin here and some words here. Just make a really good base for that tag. And what I would have done on here as well is I'm going to back the rest of them before I do anything else in some oh, I've got it here. So this is Amazon packaging, so it's really, really thin. Obviously get it in lots of things. I always straighten it out, fold it out, and obviously just put this on the back of there. And then also I found this fabulous stamp. This is a woodware stamp, and I got this the other day from Craft Stash. I'll just get it out of the packet, you can see it a bit better. And it's kind of like lines. So I think on the back of here, you just stamp that. Obviously this is a bit small, but if you could stamp that on, it gives kind of like a journaling space as well, which I thought was great for that kind of blank back of tags. So that would go really well onto this brown. Okay, I'm just going to do one more thing. So I'm going to have a quick look over here. Let's have one look at one of our larger ones. So I'm just going to have a bit of a tidy up quickly. So I've just taken one of the journaling cards that we made here, and I've just gone around the edges with some tea dye distress ink. And then, like I said before, I was going to do, I've just covered the back with that Amazon packaging. So as you can see, it comes out really, really beautiful. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to show you this stamp. So I just mentioned that a little before. That was called I actually think it's got mini notebook page. So mini notebook page, and that's a woodware stamp. That's Francois Reed. Now, because it's, when I looked at the back of this and on here, obviously that's going to get lost on there. So what I'm actually going to do, even though it's a journaling card that would be that way, I'm just actually going to put the journaling on stamp on that way. It doesn't matter because I can actually get 2 on there, and I think that's going to actually look quite nice. It'll give you loads of space then to obviously do writing. You're not going to be able to write very big on this, to be fair. It doesn't leave a lot of lines, but I just love it. I think it's great. So take your ink pad to your stamp, make sure it's all over. I hope it's going to take on this because it's quite porous looking card. So pop it down and give it a real good push. Oh yes, look at that. How cool is that? Actually, the lines are fairly big on that stamp. And again, I'm going to do another one next to that. Line that one up over there. And again, give it a really good push down. There we go. Lots of space for journaling on that card. So on the front of this one, I've just come in with those fussy cut flowers again from Junk Journal Studio. That's a nice big red bold one on here. And this is a label from their, I think it's a botanical kit. They've got like, you do get the slides, botanical slides, but I'll put all the links below underneath. But that fussy cloud, if you go over to Pouring My Heart Out for the Lord, her channel is absolutely fantastic. She's also a design team member for Junk Journal Studio. And she'd copied one of my projects I did the other day, the music sheet envelopes. And she'd put her own little spin on it, and she'd use these. And I was like, oh, I need to get me some of those. So yeah, went over to the Junk Journal Studio and got them straight away. How magic does that look? And that really stands out against that beautiful browns there. And then I've just got one little label, matching them with the same kind of colour theme. So again, just popping on the glue book. I'm just going to pop that at the top there. And for journaling card, I think that's actually just quite enough actually. So yeah, there's a couple of ideas there of what you can do with the Masterboard, how to make a Masterboard. And then obviously these ones I've got left over, they could be a couple of bookmarks. You could even make them into belly bands. So lots of ideas for you to do with a Masterboard. So I hope this was useful for beginners, and I'll be back again soon with another project. Take care, crafty friends. Bye.